Hello everyone, welcome back to another review. This time around the Penon Turbos. This will be the host of this video, right? So the first and foremost, this is the sleeve, okay? Very simple, the address, they are based in Hong Kong. This is a 6-balance Armature and 4 tuning switches turbo set, right? This is the name of the model, Turbo. If you remove this sleeve, you're gonna get this simple and really hard package, this box, okay? They say, the same message. I would say, the same message across the IEMs on the Penon store. Penon, we are a hi-fi company and specialize in producing high-quality audio products for audiophiles. That is true. Turbo, this is the name of the model, 6-balance armature, 4 tuning switches, 3-way crossover, 3 tubes and 3 bores, in the IEM itself. 2 Sonion for high frequency, 2 Knowles for middle frequency, which is kind of weird. Not weird, rare, I would say, rather, alright? 2 Sonion double opening hole for low frequency, this expands the bass region even more. Impedance of 16 ohms. Sensitivity 103 decibels, frequency response from 10 Hz all the way up to the 40 kHz, quote unquote, but the macro details are there for sure. Passive noise reduction 26 decibels, the connector to pin standard one, 0.78 millimeters, and cable length 1.2 meters. I asked for the 3.5 millimeter audio jack, and you also can choose between the other two valence, like 2.5 or 4.4. So if you remove the first cover, you will get this wonderful, in my opinion, case. Alright, this is a marvelous case in my opinion. Enough, plenty of room to store your IEMs and even more. This is the stock cable of Penon. To me, this is awesome. I don't prefer this type of cables that rest and take the form of your ear instead of the other that they are pre-molded. But let's be honest, there are more pre-molded ear hooks out there than these ones. But if I can choose, I would prefer this type of finish on the ear hooks. The terminations are incredible, well tuned. Well, not tuned, I mean customized and finished. This is the brand logo. This is the name of the model of this cable, because you can buy this cable itself from Penon. Alright? Even cheaper. And also the slider. This is metal. The slider is super reliable and comfortable. I actually never use this cable because I have another cable for this marvelous green, IEM. But the cable, you don't need to replace it, to be frank, unless you want another color to match the IEM capsules or shells rather. Then you have this type of pouch, which to me this is excellent. Oh, what was that? Okay, excuse me for that. Sometimes that happens. Okay, this is a pouch. This is a really nice touch in my opinion. You will get this tool for the switches and another tool that I don't have at the moment. You will get the cleaning brush tool and also the clip for your shirt. This is a really nice accessory in my opinion, and you will get a fantastic, ear tips collection with this. The red ones, the green ones, and dark with green stamps, 3 pairs for each color, alright? So small, medium and large for greens, for the reds, and for the darks with green stamps. So a lot of different ear tips, color matching, and the complete sizes, and then, well, nothing more. Underneath the case, And now the IEMs itself, you know. This is a wonderful, you know, marble, green, resin shells, right? This is incredible, you know. I truly love the green IEMs, and you know, the green is my favorite color. And see, you will notice, you know, the name of the model. Each side is well distinguished with the red for the right side and blue for the left. There are 20 switches. Okay, this is the other side, right? Let me bring it up. All right, yeah, there you go. And you will see the valence armatures inside. These two huge valence armature are for low frequencies, and then more, you know, details. And also 3 bores, as you can see right here, right? Yeah, this is an incredible set, to be frank. Okay, so yeah, this is pretty much it. This is the Penon webpage. The price, you know, is $549. If you buy it from here, or even if you buy from AliExpress on the Penon Audio official store, $595 euros in this case. Yeah, this is interesting because, yeah, these are the full accessories. All right, like I mentioned, you are totally covered with the ear tips. Every time you buy from Penon, you will get a wonderful collection of ear tips. You don't need to replace them. But later on the review, you are gonna see that this set is fantastic set. I mean, you can use another set of ear tips like these ear tips right here, Courier ones, and yeah, the difference is noticeable. But well, more on that later on. You will see the reviews, 7 good positive reviews, and again the specifications in the webpage. I bought from Penon webpage once, Penon 10th anniversary. Yeah, these guys are awesome. They know what they do and they treat you very well. So you won't have any issues whatsoever with they. So yeah, buy from them. They have my recommendation, full recommendation for you. So yeah, let's move on to the next section. Alright, now let's talk about the sound signature of this set. Okay, this is a set, like I said before, it is a full valence armature set. It has 6 valence armature inside in each capsule. So yeah, the main idea behind of this set is to taste a wonderful quantity and quality bass and sub bass. All right, so let's get started with the sound signature description in reverse. Let's get started with the high and medium region. We're gonna finish with the lower region. All right, this time I'm gonna borrow this graph. This is from hifi. This is, to me, you know, a sort of reliable web page, to be honest. So yeah, this is the graph of the Penon turbos. Let's get started with the, you know, high frequencies. High frequencies, as you can see in the graph, it's awesome the way they tune the high frequencies. If you move the switch, you know, in your screen from your right to the left, the first switch, if you turn it on, it makes the high frequencies, as you can see here in this section on the graph, a little bit more noticeable. Okay, if you even turn down the other switches, even more, you know. And this is not like a day-night difference, but it is noticeable, you know, if you turn on the high frequencies switch. All right, micro details are not at the same level of the Unique Melody Mark 1 and Mark 2. It is so different. But you know, the high frequencies and macro details of this set is not that far from the Campfire's Andromeda, for example. It's not at the level, but it is quite, you know, so close. So now let's move on to the mid frequencies. The mid region, as you can see in all this spectrum, right? There is not so much difference. You know, the switch, it works, but it has no so much difference. And why? This is because of the configuration of this set. For the medium range, they use the Knowles, alright? So the Knowles balance armature, they have a different approach. They are like more like a sword, you know? They cut all the frequencies and they bring all the details in a different way. So what I want to say is, if you turn on just you know, the second switch, if you turn it on and then turn down the others, it is at some point quite sibilant, at some point borderline the sibilance, but not that much. It is complex to explain, but I would say it is fatiguing. Yes, for sure, it is fatiguing because of the Knowles balance armatures for the mid frequencies. But at the same time, this makes a good sensation on micro details, all right? And there is a reason why Penon chose Knowles for the mid range using these balance armatures. There is a reason, and this is because of the bass. All right. If you see all this region, the bass, even the low mid section, this is the real difference with the third, you know, and the fourth turbo switch. All right. From your right to the left, the first and the, you know, this turbo switch. If you turn on the bass switch, you will get a good V shape, all right? Like the green and the red, all right? It depends. If you turn on like only the bass, you will get like kind of, yes, the red. But if you turn on the middle and the first switch, you're gonna get this green line, okay? So this is a really nice short V shape and V shape sound profiles, all right? But if you turn on just the turbo switch, see, this is a noticeable, huge and massive bass canon set, all right? So this is not even a glide, this is a huge bump, you know, all the way to the almost 800 hertz, okay? So yes, the mids are in a way like recessed because the bass is blunt, but this is not a bad thing, you know, because this is the idea of this set, to convey this type of bass, you know, profile. Let's put this right here. So yeah, this is the main idea behind this set, all right? To make more enjoyable your music, bringing up this type of bass. It hits hard for sure, and this is like a sort of rumbly set, okay? I would say this is at the level of the Fat Freaks and, I don't know, the legatos. Yes, I'm saying this without even testing or demoing them, but by graph at the very least, and regarding you know, the fact they are intended to convey this much of bass, and by looking at the graphs I can make a sort of good idea, and I would say this should be on par of this Fat Freak, for example. But yeah, the difference is in the ultimately on the flavor. If you rely more, or if you like more the dynamic driver type, yes, there is a difference over there. Not in quantity, I would say more in quality, because this is different. At the end of the day, this is a Sonion balance armature open, but for the low region. So yes, it hits hard, it is blunted at some way, but the decay is fast. At the end of the day is fast, because this is a balance armature, you know. So yeah, and also the last thing that I want to mention or highlight is the tip dependent. Okay, I'm using the Carrera brass, you know, ear tips, and I like this because of two things. The first one is the bore size is wider, and because of the brass I can get the Knowles sound in the mids even more clear. So when I turn on the turbo switch, I still can get the mid frequencies. You know, even if you're using a narrow tips, you're gonna hear in the mid section, but less than if you use this type of ear tips, you know. So if you use these narrow bore tips, you're gonna get even more punch, you know, more quantity, more blended. So yeah, this is the, and I want to highlight this very clear to emphasize this idea, you know. IEM is designed by these people who maybe they are thinking, okay, we want to create a set for the bass, you know, for the treble, or for voices, or maybe I want the very best flat type of IEM possible. So I'm not saying this is better than others or worse. If I need to compare like only bass cannons, I can get this and bring, you know, the Fat Freaks and the legatos, and then say, okay, which one is better, which one is worse. But if I want to, you know, compare these, I mean, if I want to compare this with the maybe the unique melody or the Andromedas, that is unfair at some point, because this is not the idea behind the set, okay? But yeah, at the end of the day, this is a really good bass monster, all right? And you really don't need to spend a lot of money. This is even more cheaper, all right? What else I want to highlight? Yes, I almost forget this, but this is the very first time for me to hearing this type of bass and sub bass, and honestly I prefer much the mid thumpy bass than the sub bass, you know, the rumbly and all this stuff. So I pretty much prefer the mid bass, and this is a subjective, very subjective and kind of comparison section. I pretty much prefer the Penon 10th anniversary edition mid bass than this one. It hits harder and better to my ears, and also I prefer the thumpiness of the Penon serials, right? On even more than this, okay, because this is like a sort of sub bass and blunted bass overall. So thanks to this, I realized that I don't like this claustrophobic type of sub bass, you know, and bass. I pretty much prefer the thumpiness over the sub bass, the rumbly. But yeah, other than that, I think this is a very all-round set, and yeah, the tuning switches makes a real noticeable difference across the graph, the whole spectrum. This is not like other sets out there when you turn on and turn down the switches and you don't get any real difference. Yes, in here, for sure you're gonna get these differences from, incredibly enough, but from a almost flat dead neutral tuning like, you know, moving on the valence region and all the way up to the V shape, and you know, this math V shape or crazy V shape. This is massive, you know, if you turn on the turbo switch. So yeah, let's move on to the last section. Okay, so who do I recommend this at? To the people who, you know, love the green color first and foremost, because it's a beautiful resin shell color, green color, and also if you like the valence full VA sets, you know. Also I recommend this if you want one single pair of headphones to use, you know, and get all the different sound signatures out there, almost all of them. Also, if you don't want to spend a lot of money, I recommend this set. If you want this for, if you're looking for one, you know, rounded set. I also recommend this if you want to get a very nice micro detail set without paying this much of money. And who else? Yeah, for sure, if you're a bass head or you want to try or, you know, demo like this much quantity in the sub bass region and bass, for sure, if you want a super massive bass head in ear, this is your boy. Okay, this is your not the only choice, but this is a wonderful choice for the price. All right, so I don't recommend this if you don't like the green color, right? I do not recommend this if you are not a bass head, for sure, or if you don't like the full VA type of sets or the VA sensation. Yes, I do not recommend this for you. Other than that, you know, this is a marvelous, wonderful set. Subjectively, right now, I like it, but I pretty much prefer the Penon serials, like I mentioned, right? Or I prefer the Penon 10th anniversary, but for fit and comfort, the 10th anniversary is not that well, but the serial and this one for fit and comfort, this, you know, both of them are, you know, more than perfect for this purpose. So yeah, this is it for this review. I hope you enjoyed the review, and yeah, see you soon. Until the next time, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section, and I'm gonna try to, you know, clarify all of your questions whenever it's possible. Okay, so see you next time. Peace.